About as warm as it got all day today, and really didn't get all that much cooler last night, around 60-65 degrees through the region. For tomorrow, we're likely to see a little bit of steady light rain during the morning hours, and then that should taper on off to just patchy drizzle and fog once again during the afternoon hours. And once again, our high temperatures only into the upper 60s for tomorrow. Might see a patch of sunshine by the end of the day on Wednesday, 70 degrees. Partly cloudy skies on Thursday and Friday, low 70s. Warming on up a bit into the weekend. Again, scattered light rain and drizzle to continue.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Chesapeake police officers standing by a patrol car draped in black for their fallen comrade. Today we'll have the latest developments on the police officer and the alleged bank robber who killed him. That's coming up.
Plus,
close to 30 people were treated at the hospital when this deck collapsed in Sandbridge over the weekend. How the way it broke apart may be why there weren't any serious injuries. I'm Tracy Rosa. I'll explain next.
Then, demolition in Norfolk. Find out why the city decided this house had to go.
Well, it is the worst news a police department can get. A member of the force is killed in the line of duty.
Chesapeake police are in mourning tonight. Officer Michael Saffron was killed Saturday in a shootout with a suspected bank robber on George Washington Highway. The suspect was also killed. Telling your side's Mary Kay Maloney is live in Chesapeake where the news is just now sinking in. Mary Kay?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is so tough to see a police officer cry. We've seen them cry today, stopping by the patrol car here to leave flowers, as well as private citizens. A testament to the type of this officer was. Saturday morning, Officer Saffron's wife there, his young son right next to her, and his daughter behind them had to leave the hospital without him, escorted by his fellow officers. This afternoon, the rain still falling. Saffron's fellow officers just stood there and cried, not wanting to leave Saffron's patrol car draped in black.
The academy class that he was with, he just graduated from, and a lot of young people there, and so it was a new struggle for them. But the older officers, the experienced ones, are just kind of pulled them under the wing and helped bring them along.
It was Saturday morning when the call went out. Someone was robbing the Bank of Hampton Roads on GW Highway. Officer Saffron responded, chasing down the suspect, Larry Blount. Police say Blount, with a stolen car full of hostages, shot and killed Officer Saffron. Then another officer killed Blount. Officer Saffron was a well-liked rookie officer with a distinguished career in the Navy and a successful career as a father and a husband. Blount was a convicted drug dealer with jail time under his belt. He lived in this lavish home with security cameras and ran a car washing business.
There's nobody here to talk to him right now.
Can we talk to his wife?
No, you can't talk to him.
Are you guys family members?
No.
Pat Corprew has been friends with Blount since childhood.
I don't know if it was something that could have been haunting him or a spirit that, it is...
A spirit?
Well, the enemy, the devil causes... Well, yes.
We may never know why this happened, why a Chesapeake police officer trying to protect several hostages had to pay the ultimate price. Now, I do want to pass along some information about a candlelight vigil for Officer Saffron. It'll be tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at police headquarters on Albemarle Drive in Chesapeake. No doubt there will be a lot of people there paying respects to the officer, his family, and all of the Chesapeake police officers.
All right, Mary Kay Maloney live in Chesapeake for us tonight. A public viewing for Officer Saffron will be held Wednesday night from 6 to 8 at the H.D. Oliver Funeral Home on Cedar Road. There'll be a memorial service Thursday morning at 11 at Prince of Peace Catholic Church, also on Cedar Road. Officer Saffron will be buried in his hometown of Baltimore, Maryland.
Norfolk police were called in to investigate a suspicious death this afternoon. This is on Templar Boulevard. We're told that a man was found dead near the front door. Telling your sides, Kay Young is live at the scene right now with what we know so far. Kay?
Alvita, the man's body was found out here around 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see police are still out here. They're investigating, collecting evidence. But right now, police have not confirmed the man's cause of death. They do say that the initial 911 call that brought officers to Templar Boulevard was for a shooting. Now, that's when detectives came out and found the man lying near the doorway of a home in the 1000 block. Now, investigators have decided to look into this case as a homicide. Now, at least one neighbor also reported hearing a popping sound that was like a shot just before 2 o'clock. So as investigators continue to search the area for clues, people living in this South Bayview community say they're uneasy.
Kind of scared. Don't know, what can happen at any time.
It has me worried about me and my wife's safety, and it's really unfortunate I had to consider that coming home every evening.
Now, right now, police are trying to contact the man's family members. They believe they do know who he is, but they're still trying to find out what happened to him. They're asking anyone from the public to give them a call on the crime line if they had any information about what happened out here on Templar Boulevard this afternoon. Alvita?
Thanks a lot. Kay Young in Norfolk tonight.
We now know what caused a wedding reception to come to a tumbling halt. Chopper 10 lit up the night sky over Sandbridge, showing you the damage from a deck collapse. Family and friends were celebrating when the floor crumbled beneath them. It looks pretty bad, but it really could have been much worse. It's on your side's Tracy Rosa is live to explain. Tracy?
Yeah, Les, it was just a little while ago when we got word from the city on what they believe caused this deck to collapse. Go ahead and take a look behind me. You can see right there how the deck is basically in the pool right now. But what officials are saying happened is that the nails that would keep the deck connected to the house rusted, and that's what caused this deck to collapse.
It was really a scary sight.
Tara Dembens couldn't believe her eyes. The deck next door where a wedding reception was being held started to collapse with more than 30 people on it.
We spun around and looked and just saw the deck sliding down and saw people grasping, like trying to climb up the deck to get back. Kids hanging on, adults, and all I could think was there were kids in the pool just a couple of seconds before that.
Now the only thing swimming in this pool is splintered wood and rusty nails. You can see where the third floor deck was just pulled from its base and slid toward the ground. 28 people were taken to area hospitals with minor injuries. Bruce Nadelko with Virginia Beach EMS says this could have been much worse if the deck would have come crashing down instead of sliding.
What I think that did was allow the people on that deck to react instinctively, grab onto the railings, maybe grab onto the decking. They weren't as injured as if somebody had just broken away real quickly.
Even though there were no serious injuries, it was a horrible way to end such a special occasion. This deck and this home were built in 1992. All permits were needed, according to city officials. The deck was built to hold 60 pounds per square foot. Again, that was in 1992. And according to city officials, it is up to the owner of this property to maintain it. We tried to get in touch with him today, but he did not return any of our calls. Back to you.
All right, Tracy Rosa, live in Sandbridge.
What would you do with hundreds of acres of prime waterfront property? Well, that's what the city of Hampton is asking residents tonight. The BRAC Commission decided to shut down Fort Monroe. That land could now be redeveloped by the city. But Mayor Ross Kearney worries that the offers could go bust. It could cost the federal government more than $1 billion to environmentally clean up the land before it can be handed over.
If the president does not release the funding to clean up Monroe and remove the armaments that are buried there, that in fact the Department of Defense could just put a lock on the gate and say, well, we'll get to it as soon as we're available.
The public meeting will be held at Kecoughtan High School at 7 o'clock tonight.
Last night, the two top candidates for governor went head-to-head in a debate. One issue Jerry Kilgore and Tim Kaine agree on is the future of NAS Oceana.
I met with Senator Warner over 10 days ago, and we discussed Oceana and the importance Oceana has to the Commonwealth, not only from a military standpoint, but from an economic standpoint. You know, we can't afford in Virginia to lose the thousands of jobs we would lose should we lose Oceana.
I'm not sure why the presidential appointed BRAC Commission decided to put Oceana on the list, but I'll do what I can to save Oceana. And the Attorney General, Jerry Kilgore, and I do agree on this one. It's important to Virginia that we save it.
The destruction by Hurricane...
The deadline to meet the BRAC directive is March 2006. The new governor will take office in January. By the way, if you're not registered to vote yet, you're running out of time. You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
And coming up next on WAVY News 10 at 6, new developments in the Taylor Beal investigation. This man is facing new charges tonight. We will have those details. Plus...
Saturday's torrential rains flooded this Portsmouth apartment complex. I'm Shannon Powell. We'll find out what families are doing now that their homes have been condemned. That's coming up.
And we had all kinds of tropical rains on Saturday, but the tropics are quiet for now for our part of the world. Way out off into the eastern Atlantic, there is some action. That's Tropical Storm Vince, very, very unusual, headed on up toward Portugal. What's headed our way? A little bit more of the same. We'll tell you when we'll clear off in just a couple of minutes.
I promise.
I promise.
I promise. The all-new Chevy Impala gets an estimated 31 highway miles per gallon.
Malibu LS with 32.
Cobalt LS, 34.
And a Aveo with 35.
I promise that Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy.
We even took a Silverado and created the first full-size hybrid pickup truck.
I promise fuel economy is just as important to Chevy as it is to you.
That's a Chevy Total Value Promise.
What does it take to be Hampton Roads' most watched news station?
Chopper 10 is live on the scene.
There has been a bank robbery here. You can't wait for news to happen. You just have to be everywhere when it does.
We have breaking news
Return on your side first. Anytime, anywhere.
Massive amount of flames at once.
In a split second, you've got to get the story, get it right, and get it on.
We begin tonight.
What does it take to be Hampton Roads' most watched news station?
We show you every day. We're on your side. No matter what the weather, Super Dapper 10 Live Radar is always on your side.
All week, Cavalier Ford saying goodbye to the 05s by giving you 3 choices. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years on new 05s. Get up to $6,000 cash back on new 05s. Get up to 45% off the original sticker on pre-owned 05s. Cavalier has hundreds of 05s in stock, and they're all going to go this week. Why? 0% financing for 6 years. $6,000 cash back. 45% off certified. Cavalier Ford, Greenbrier and Portsmouth. We'll do whatever it takes to sell every 05 this week.
Closed captioning for this newscast is brought to you by Bruce's Super Body Shops. WAVY TV is proud to salute partners on your side. Farm Fresh, Langley Federal Credit Union, and Jackson Hewitt.
I'm Tim Kaine, candidate for governor. My campaign sponsored this ad because we can't just tax and pave our way out of traffic. Runaway development makes traffic problems worse. Jerry Kilgore wants to raise taxes and take school money for roads. That won't solve our problem. I'll give your community more power to stop out-of-control development that increases traffic, and I'll stop legislators from raiding road funds for other programs. My plan cuts waste and reduces traffic congestion.
USS Enterprise is already 4 months late getting out to sea, and now it's dragging even more.
That ship was leaving Northrop Grumman's Newport News shipyard yesterday when tugs pushed it over a sandbar. Silt was drawn into the system that powers the carrier. The machine was shut down so the sand wouldn't destroy the engines. The Enterprise was pushed to Naval Station Norfolk, where it is being inspected. Well, the prime suspect in the Taylor Beale investigation is facing new charges tonight. 38-year-old Ben Fawley is charged with illegal firearms possession. He is a convicted felon. Fawley is already in jail on 16 child pornography charges. He has not been charged in the death of 17-year-old Taylor Beale. Her body was found in Matthews County last week. A medical examiner is still working to find a cause of death.
The city of Norfolk is taking big steps to get rid of buildings that are houses for crime. A bulldozer started demolishing 765 Avenue B in Huntersville today. Residents complained the house was a haven for drug use and prostitution. The city said the building is infested with termites and has been neglected, so it's being torn down. Norfolk has demolished more than 40 dilapidated buildings in the last 5 months.
Straight ahead tonight at 6. What a mess in Portsmouth this weekend.
Yeah, take a look at this. Families being rescued by boat. Telling Your Side found out this isn't the first flood for the Village apartments. New details next.
Experts on your side at WAVY.com. Get free advice at the click of a mouse. No appointment necessary.
'Cause every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man.
Save now at S&K on designer suits from Emmanuel and Garo. Buy one, get one free. S&K men's stores. Dress sharp.
Sharp dressed man.
What would it take for you to switch phone companies? Free cab-to-cab long-distance calls to other customers? Or how about unlimited local calls for only $24.95 with 12 calling features? Switch to Cavalier Telephone today. Call 866-4CAVTEL or visit cavtel.com.
Monsieur, bow tie?
The 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
The ref is really taking his time with this call, Jim.
He sure is, Bob. So this huge bug was headed straight for me, so I threw my flag at it and...
Maybe I should let you go.
No, it's cool. I just up my anytime minutes. Altal lets me change my plan whenever I need, so we can talk all day. So what's for dinner?
I was thinking meatloaf.
Oh, meatloaf. Yes.
When Altel lets you change your rate plan without extending your contract on America's largest owned and operated wireless network, what's not to love?
I feel like my head is swollen and this hat does it look big?
'Cause every girl crazy about a sharp dressed man.
Save now at S&K on designer suits from Emmanuel and Garo. Buy one, get one free. S&K men's stores. Dress sharp.
Sharp dressed man.
This segment of WAVY News 10 is brought to you by Hyundai.
A quick download on the new Hyundai Tucson. Loaded with features inside and out, like standard side impact and side curtain airbags, and standard electronic stability control with traction control. Tucson is the winner of Strategic Vision's 2005 Total Quality Award. And that award-winning quality lets us offer America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. The uniquely flexible feature-packed Hyundai Tucson. Nicely equipped at $16,594 at Hyundai. For a short time, active military personnel get an extra $500 cash back.
Water filling the streets, debris floating around, and people being rescued by boat. Believe it or not, this was the scene in Portsmouth this weekend.
It started out as rain, but the water backed up and swelled up so quickly at the Village Apartments. Now close to 20 families are out of their homes. Sitting on your side, Shannon Powell is live with more on the flooding aftermath. Shannon?
While it is gray, gloomy, and wet out here today, it's better than Saturday. What blew through here then, well, it left water lines on this apartment building that go past your knees. And not only that, more than a dozen homes are condemned. The brochure never mentioned a lake in the parking lot of Village at Western Branch Apartments.
All night, all day, and it never stopped. It didn't stop until the fire department got everybody out.
No one knew it would get this bad.
But the flood starts right at the entrance. Usually that's all to get flooded.
This time the water covered cars, washed into homes, but it's not the first time. In 1990, heavy rains brought the same scene, both rescues out of a parking lot into the streets.
For the whole entire apartment complex, this is the worst. They've never had to turn out the power. The transformer in the middle has never been underwater or anything like that, and people haven't been evacuated.
Michelle Jackson's home has been condemned.
Yesterday it was really bad. Water, I believe, came up to about here, from best I could tell from the sofa, because it stained it around the side.
Like her neighbors having to move, salvaging what they can, she will have to get out. She says because management told her all of this is due to a drainage problem.
Basically, they've been trying to get the city of Portsmouth to fix this.
We tried contacting management here at the Village at Western Branch, but no one would speak to us on camera. In fact, there's no one inside of the office because it too was condemned because of the flooding, forcing them to move the leasing center.
On one hand, I'm scared because it's human nature to be scared. On the other hand, I'm blessed because you look at Louisiana, they lost everything.
We tried contacting Portsmouth city officials about the so-called drainage issue, but no one returned our calls today. Now, as far as the tenants here at this apartment building, 2 of the apartment buildings have been condemned. Only the downstairs apartments, the ones upstairs, the tenants are able to live there. Dominion Virginia Power just got their electricity on a little later today, and we've also been told by several tenants that the apartment complex management has offered them apartments in other properties. Back to you, Alvita.
All right, thanks a lot. Shannon Powell in Portsmouth tonight.
Always live, always accurate radar. Here's Chief Meteorologist Don Slater with your Super Dapper 10 forecast.
Those folks really got hit hard, but really, street flooding all over Hampton Roads on Saturday.
It really was. We expected up to about 3.5 inches of rain, 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain. Well, we got stuck with these areas going right on through us. It's called training, one right after the other, right through the region. We had 3 to 6 inches of rain through the area, and some localized neighborhoods got even more than that. Now, we are looking at some rain to continue on into the area, but it's not going to be hugely heavy. We're not likely to see flooding because we're just not as tropical, in quite as tropical a situation situation as we were on Saturday. Steady rain tomorrow morning, overnight, late tonight, and on into tomorrow morning. Now, flooding is not likely out of this. We'll see some scattered drizzle. It'll taper on down to scattered drizzle tomorrow afternoon, and then less of a chance of drizzle coming up during the day on Wednesday. There's a development on out to sea, right on out into here, and it's going to tend to kick a little bit more rain on into our part of the area, and likely kick a little bit more toward the northern neck, middle peninsula coming up late tonight and on into tomorrow as well. So we are looking at a real good chance of rain. Much more localized view of what's going on into the area on Super Doppler 10 Live. We'll dive on in and show you what's going on into the area. And we have seen a little bit of scattered light rain on up toward the Reedville area, certainly along the Outer Banks, and one little area into Virginia, right along Lynn Haven, right along Shore Drive, the Thorogood area. We have seen some rain off and on, and now we're not seeing it. It's falling apart, but that's the nature of it. Light scattered drizzle, and it turns into light rain into the region, and we're seeing widespread light rain across Hatteras Island for right now, but certainly nothing as big as we saw over the weekend. Here's what we've got going on. 9 o'clock this evening, this front center right on in over the top of us. Easterly winds on one side of it, northerly winds on the other side of it. It's going to continue to spread some rainfall into the area, and again, you can see scattered rainfall by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Some pops of moderate rain into the area, but not huge amounts like we saw on Saturday. As we are in the noon hour, 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the east, northerly wind flow here, and it tends to move on away, and we tend to see that rain fade on away by the end of the day coming up for tomorrow. And on into tomorrow night, we see patchy drizzle. On into Wednesday, we're likely to see a few spots of drizzle through the area, but less rain on Wednesday. Still cloudy, still dreary through the area, and much more of the same kind of weather that we've seen today. You can hardly see through the water droplets on the camera here, but here's the entrance to the downtown tunnel. Lots of green grass through the area with all the rain that we had over the weekend. Drizzle right now, 67 to 73 degrees through the region. There's our low last night, high today, 70, our current reading. What have we got going on for tomorrow? Again, some steadier rain coming up late tonight, more toward dawn, and into tomorrow morning. Now, it's not likely to be flooding rain during the afternoon hours. It tapers on off to scattered light drizzle. Still cool, around 68 degrees. Less of a chance of rain coming up on Wednesday. Scattered light drizzle, still around 70. Might see a little bit more sunshine coming up by Thursday and Friday, certainly on into the weekend. Again, a little bit rainier coming up for tomorrow, but again, not flooding rains. Rain, especially during the morning, tapering off to drizzle in the afternoon.
Thanks, Don. Coming up tonight at 11, a house explodes, a daycare center is evacuated, and at least 2 people are still missing.
What caused the fiery blast? Tonight on WAVY News 10 at 11. And for the 4th game in a row, it comes down to the final play for the Washington Redskins.
Bruce Rader looks back at yesterday's game and shows us one of the greatest baseball games of all time. Next.
Oftentimes, cardiovascular disease can be prevented. People need to understand that they have the opportunity to make choices, not just from the standpoint of their lifestyle, but also from the standpoint of their health care. Sentara Norfolk General has 10 of the finest cardiac surgeons in the nation, and they head up a team of subspecialists, not just providing care, but providing it with excellence. The Sentara program has a history of producing outstanding results. It's where I had my mother operated on.
I promise.
I promise.
Chevy promises to keep building
the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Chevy promises a bold new look in the Silverado half-ton.
With more spin, horsepower, and payload than Ford or Dodge crew cabs.
Now lease an 06 Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab LT 2-wheel drive for around $289 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for important lease details.
That's the Chevy Total Value Promise, and it starts right here.
See your local Chevy dealer. No matter what the weather, Super Doppler 10 Live Radar is always on your side.
Imagine the car you have to drive is actually the car you want to drive. Introducing the Mercedes-Benz R-Class Grand Sports Tourer with seating for 6 and 4-wheel drive. Visit your local authorized dealer and experience it for yourself. Starting at $48,775.
Next up is number 3. Your word is flossy nosy nihilipilification.
FLXCK
hard words.
Can you give it to me in a sentence, please?
That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can file a claim, make changes, or pay your bill online? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
This is a great find. The redesigned Mercury Mountaineer. Come on, step up. Mountaineer's interior is all new everywhere you look. It's as easy as this to rearrange the seats. You'll never have to ask for directions. Mountaineer has more V8 power and even better mileage. But here's the most incredible part. Mountaineer costs less than last year. The extremely well-equipped Mountaineer starts at this great price. You've got to put Mercury on your list.
The Redskins are the cardiac kids. They take it right down to the end, don't they?
That's right, that's right. Close but no cigar, but I got to tell you this. Okay, Redskins fans, it's true. You all finally have yourselves a football team. 4 games, and they all come down to the final play. Redskins lose to Denver 21-19 yesterday. They outplayed the Broncos, but made a few crucial mistakes that cost them the win. Mark Brunell threw the ball 53 times. This touchdown pass to Chris Cooley ended a 94-yard drive with 69 seconds to play in the game. The Redskins needed a 2-point conversion to tie it. David Patton wide open, but Denver linebacker Ian Gold tipped the ball away, and the Redskins lose for the first time this season.
I think there were a lot of plays in the game today that were critical plays, and it's just one of those things when you play a very good football team on a road like that, you can't afford some of the mistakes we made. But I was really proud of our guys. They really kept fighting in it, and I'm really proud of them. I think we've got a bunch of fighters, that's for sure.
Coach Gibbs feels his team was robbed on this play. The Redskins awarded a 2-point safety, but it was overturned because of the infamous tuck rule. You've heard of the tuck rule, haven't you? Oh, yeah. The refs say quarterback Jake Plummer tucked the ball back into his body after moving his arm forward. Thus, it is an incomplete pass, not a fumble. Had the Redskins gotten the 2 points, they would have only needed to kick an extra point to tie the game in the final seconds, and then who knows what would have happened. You know, I had every TV set in the house on yesterday, including the picture-in-picture. What some are calling one of the greatest baseball games ever played in Houston. Astros and Braves in the longest preseason game in baseball history. 18 innings. Astros manager Phil Gardner had to call in 43-year-old Roger Clemens out of the bullpen. The Rockets' first relief appearance in 21 years. Clemens with a pinch hit bunt in the 15th inning, and then throws 3 scoreless relief innings, but it was Chris Burke here with an 18th inning home run to win it for Houston, setting up a rematch of last year's championship series against the Cardinals.
I need to, I want to go watch it again, just to try and, just to look at the, the details of everything that happened in this game. But I don't know if I've seen anything like this.
Obviously not even starting the game in the lineup. This is about as good as it gets. There's just so many things that happened throughout the course of the day that guys made huge plays, and luckily I was the guy that made the final one.
And this is going to end up being the greatest game ever played. I can't imagine a better game with this much on the line as this game.
Presentation in 2000.
The Yankees and the Angels tonight on Fox 43.
All right, that's it for us tonight at 6.
We'll see you at 11. Have a good night.